Hello, my name is Terry O'Connell. I produced the video you're about to view, Naples Paradise Found from Sunrise to Sunset. This is a two-part Millennium update of that video. Unprecedented growth in Collier County has made this millennium really necessary. It's a two-part series. In the first part, we're going to outline the major challenges being faced by Collier County residents and commissioners in four major categories. These are water supply, population, education, and transportation. The second part will focus mainly on the Naples 5th Avenue area. Now let's begin with water supply, which is critical to life and golf in our little paradise. Our annual rainfall is about 52 inches. State-of-the-art machinery, such as this plant in North Naples, has made it possible to go deeper and deeper into our aquifers, then change the brackish water found at this depth into water that is sweet and refreshing to the taste. We've also tapped into a new source of water, the Lower Hawthorne Aquifer. Second challenge is population. Collier County's population has increased 65% in the past decade. Most of the increase took place in North Naples and Golden Gate Estates. Collier County, with its sugar sand beaches, I love that phrase, beautiful weather and friendly natives, has become a worldwide destination area, so real estate has become a tremendous investment opportunity. The Naples Area Board of Realtors, NABOR, on Pine Ridge, is continually holding conferences and workshops to keep agents and brokers right up to speed. Imagine, back in 1941, the assessed value for Collier County was $10 million. In 1961, a Port Royal home site would go for about $6,000. Well, today, prices range from over $100,000 for a small condo in Collier County to well over $10 million for choice waterfront property, and sometimes it's paid for in cash. Figures vary, but I would estimate that over 2 million people visit our area annually as tourists. Thousands more come to stay for some portion of the season, which seems to stretch from Thanksgiving through Easter. Our median family income is about $65,000. That puts us about 7th in the nation, which is pretty good. 60 years ago, the county had 5,000 people. The last census, 264,000. The largest group, Hispanics, followed by Afro-Americans, and then senior citizens, of which I am proud to be a member of. The 85 and over group expanded 118%. Officials at Naples Community Hospital and Cleveland Clinic's $75 million hospital are well aware of these older demographics and for now seem to be focusing more and more on adult care rather than obstetrics and pediatric services. Collier County ranks as the third fastest growing county in Florida. The city of Naples is the second fastest growing metro area in the nation, ranked second only to Las Vegas. Based on this population explosion, you'll well understand why infrastructure, education, and transportation are among our most immediate challenges. Long's Market, you'll see on the original video, is no longer at this location. The land has become just too valuable for agriculture. Although not in a rural area, Long's is quite indicative, I believe, of a recent Brookings Institute report showing that from 1982 through 1997, Collier County ranked third in the nation for converting rural land to urban areas. Now to education. Collier County's first school was built back in 1885 on tiny little Pig Key just off Marco Island. Today the county has 38 schools and still counting, and more than 35,000 students. By the way, Marco Island became a city back in 1997 after 5 attempts since 1980. All educators seem to stress one thing, that our biggest student challenge is reading. This, however, is not just a local challenge or problem, it's national as well. Florida Gulf Coast University in Southwest Florida is the state's 10th and newest university. International College started in this mall on the East Trail some years ago and has since expanded to this beautiful new campus just off I-75. A sidebar, if you don't mind. In 1955, white teachers were paid $40 a week, black teachers about $25 a week. Now salaries are pegged to ability, not race, so we've come a long way. Our teacher ratio in some schools, mostly private, is as low as 17-1. Presently, the district school budget is about $6,135 per student. Our final focus, then, is on transportation. For 3 years, from 1997 to the year 2000, no new roads were built, but about 18,000 building permits were issued for condos and single-family homes. So we're really playing catch-up in a big, big way. The first public bus system, Call Your Area Transport, called CAT, is now in operation and doing quite well. The county is widening portions of the Immokalee Road, Pine Ridge, and Golden Gate. But the major project is Livingston Road, running from Radio Road in Collier County through to Lee County. It's a super-duper 6-lane north-south highway. This will ease traffic on I-75. Note that many restaurant chains like Cracker Barrel have choice spots near our off-ramps. By the way, I-75 and US 41 are also being widened, but at a much slower timeline, and some congested local roads will also benefit quite a bit. Now the second part of our two-part Millennium Update. By comparing these new scenes with the original video, you'll see how quickly familiar landmarks are being improved or replaced. Let's begin, like most tourists, by driving over the newly widened Gordon River Bridge into the heart of Naples, Fifth Avenue. To the left, Tin City. And on the right, the amazing Bayfront Complex. We're going to park in the huge parking garage just off Fifth Avenue, pick up free brochures at the nearby Chamber of Commerce Information Center, manned by volunteers, by the way, and take a stroll down Fifth Avenue. Well, the first major intersection we come to blends the old and new and is sort of indicative of what's going on in the area. On one corner, the Wind in the Willows sets a very whimsical tone for our journey. You'll see the old 3rd Street location on the original video. And for you old-timers, by the way, Tony and Lucille, who own the original Wind in the Willows, retired and are living in Upper Michigan at the present time. Just across the street in this new office building are many corporate offices, some representing very powerful old-line businesses and families. On our third corner, the Fifth Avenue Pharmacy Building, renovated to fit in with the new Fifth Avenue Master Plan. The pharmacy combines sophisticated service on a first-name basis. Because of bank construction, like this one on our fourth corner, with mergers and banks constantly going up throughout Collier County, Naples is now becoming an international financial center. This bank, by the way, is now up and running. One new bank even specializes in European business. Further on down the avenue is the Sugden Theater, which to me personifies the elegance of Fifth Avenue. What beauty, what class, what performances. The theater is bracketed by McCabe's Irish Pub and Grill, a very unique and fun-filled dining place. And the Wynn family's Yaba Restaurant, a very charming Caribbean dining experience. The Wynn family has a new deli up the avenue with a wonderful wine selection. You know, the Wynn family is a great local dynasty, a very low-profile family, but a high-energy giver to local charities. Just off 5th is the Von Leipzig Art Center, a fine art center, but also a hands-on community learning facility for the arts. And the city fathers have brought old Cambier Park into the millennium with a new bandshell, tennis courts, shuffleboards, and playgrounds. Mr. and Mrs. Randy Smith have relocated their trolley terminal, centering the trolley hub around an authentic old-fashioned country store ambience. And the Smith family, like the Winns and the Watkins, bring a touch of real class into the very competitive tourist business. And speaking of class, Myra Janko Daniels has added additional luster to her Philharmonic Center for the Arts, with the nearby Naples Museum of Arts, a 30,000 square foot, $10.6 million gem sparkling with something for everyone. Now, a final touch. Our hotels really are the finest in the world, both in accommodation and in management. The Watkins family upholds their traditional Naples welcome at the family's Naples Beach Hotel and Golf Club with a multi-million-dollar expansion, which includes 2 main ballrooms, a huge, beautiful new clubhouse building with meetings and conference rooms, and of course, no problem with tee times on their golf course. The perennial 5-star Ritz, with not just 1, but 2 resorts in Collier County. Wait till Condé Nast features both in the same issue. The Register Resort, with its fabulous new golf course and 2 new swimming pools, including a fantastic 100-foot slide and upgraded conference rooms. The new Hilton on US 41 and its famous Don Shula Steakhouse. The gem-like Inn on Fifth Avenue with its ideal location near the Sugden Theater and its very, very cosmopolitan atmosphere. And many other unique hotels for the discriminating visitor, really a room for every price range. Just a brief biographical sketch. I spent 30 years in Hawaii and the Pacific region, Voice of America correspondent writing for the United States Information Agency, doing anchor news, and I retired from one paradise to another, Collier County in Florida, and I love it down here, and I'm sure you will too. You've seen some of the many changes taking place in Collier County. Now, I wish you'd compare those changes with the original video, and I trust it'll give you a sense of the huge engine of change that is fueled by construction and population that is still sweeping through Collier County. Enjoy your time in paradise. The story of Naples, Florida, from sunrise to sunset. It's a lifestyle rooted in a fascinating historical and geographical past. And as all good stories begin, once upon a time, planet Earth was locked in the icy grip of the glacial age. Over millenniums, the receding icy fingers had gouged and pitted the 500-mile-long Florida peninsula with lakes, crossed by rivers, then rimmed by 9,000 miles of tidal shoreline. Historically, our story begins to unfold around the year 800 AD, south of Naples, on Key Marco. Channeling through the eyes of a Calusa chief, we would see a community of some 800 men, women, and children living on a series of flat-topped man-made shell islands. These islands would probably be interlaced with canals, and then a central plaza with docks for their canoes and huts for elaborate ceremonial functions using masks, like these. It was a very stable, non-agricultural society with a ruling class quite supportive of artists disciplined in wood carving. Julius Gasolina, a true present-day artist in wood, did these replicas, including the Key Marco cat, based on drawings and pictures of artifacts uncovered by the 1896 Frank Hamilton Cushing expedition, which really opened the window into the fascinating world of the Calusas. This tablet is on Marco Island. The 1995 Cushing Centennial dig under Dr. Randolph J. Widmer, assisted by his wife, Dr. Rebecca Story, and many volunteers, uncovered, identified, and shipped to a Texas laboratory 772 bags of artifacts. We visited the dig and asked the renowned scientist, did the Key Marco cat help explain the Calusa culture?
Particularly their religious life. One of the things about it, it represents the type of religion, the type of society that Calusa had are very different than what you and I are familiar with. And the type of society that it represents is what we call a chiefdom. And the chiefdom, the chief is a very powerful individual who can commune with the spirit world directly and actually become part of that spirit world. And what the cat represents is this transition of becoming, the chief actually becoming a cat or possessing the cat spirit, and he actually transforms into that cat, which is actually a panther. Yes. And that represents to his people what that transition is and what the actual chief becomes. And that's one way that the chief can gain supernatural power and contact the spirit world, is through that media of the panther, because panther is the most powerful figure on the landscape, and that's why he becomes, that's his spirit guider.
Well, by examining the relics from this centennial dig, we're going to learn more about this noble race who inhabited southwest Florida for 1,000 years. Were they decimated by disease, fire, or war with the better equipped Spanish soldiers? Our regional story now resumes with the Seminole Indians following the devastating Seminole Wars of the 1800s. Indians, mostly of the Creek culture, had fought U.S. forces to a standstill. Well, to maintain their lifestyle and freedom, they then chose to live in relative isolation in villages like this, well into the 20th century. It was a matriarchal society as far as tribal membership, ownership, and child rearing. It was a hard life, but they had a freedom deep in the Everglades. Sometimes the children would learn of their culture sitting with their mother by the riverbank, waiting for their father to return home from fishing, hunting, or guiding alligator hunters. You see, alligator hunts like this were legal until 1963. Then the reptiles were declared a protected species. A little background, if I may, while the hunt gets underway. Back in the 1800s, the federal government ordered all Indians east of the Mississippi to relocate out west on very barren land. Well, some Florida Indians formed a loose guerrilla army, and under leaders like Billy Osceola fought the U.S. troops. Finally, Osceola was taken prisoner back in 1837 and died in captivity. Seminoles were great hunters. They knew every stream and tributary in the region. Now, let's watch the action, an actual capture. This reptile's hide would have brought about $1.50 a foot in the 1920s and $35 a foot in the 90s. Meat would be extra. Now there are about 1 million alligators in the state, and restricted hunting has resumed. Today, close to 2,000 Seminoles live in or around 4 reservations in southern Florida. As our Seminole guide returns home, we turn from the historical past and raise the curtain on Naples today. First, acknowledging the early collier pioneers and developers. Visionaries like Baron G. Collier, shown here, Walter N. Haldeman, Edward Creighton, and countless others who turned a remote fishing village into the sophisticated city on the Gulf, Naples. Paradise found. We've arranged an aerial tour of the Naples coastline and will point out areas we're going to visit. Right below is Gordon Pass. We'll see some of the magnificent waterfront estates off Gordon Drive, then go into exclusive Port Royal. There's Old Naples with its canopy of shade trees and pretty little houses. We're going to walk and shop on 3rd Street, then drive down 5th Avenue. We'll stroll the white sand beach below and visit the Naples Pier. Our tour of Naples will actually start across Doctor's Pass right below on Gulf Shore Boulevard as we watch our own Brigadoon come to life at sunrise. Our brief aerial tour concludes in North Naples with a fill and world-class hotels like the Registry. And a little further up the beach, the 5-star Ritz-Carlton Resort. Now, another day in paradise begins. It's sunrise. Neapolitans stretch and slowly awaken in this emerald-like city encrusted on a 7-mile strand of white sand beaches. The sun's warming rays probe, then envelop the Gulf Shore condominiums in a soft, pastel, misty haze. Let's plan the day, carpe diem. Breakfast at First Watch. An early tea time at Naples Beach and Golf Club. And if you live in one of these $1 million condominiums built over the water, you may want to take your boat out to the Gulf, then head for the 10,000 Islands. Moments ago, a boat left this dock. And there it is, heading for the Gulf outlet. This is our day to explore, so let's follow this seagull and take a shortcut to the beach. Our wise feathered friend joins this low-flying group in freedom, rather than play beach tag with this intent, motivated little mermaid. Some come to our beaches to skip and run and chase. I've always wondered, what would this charmer do if she caught this bird? Some come to rest and read, swim and play, or deepen that golden Naples tan. Families come to picnic in the park. A short walk brings us to the rebuilt Naples Pier. The original pier was built back in 1887 and provided much-needed access to the area by steamship. Prospective land buyers back there of Haldeman's Naples Company could safely disembark and stay at the nearby new hotel. The pier, of course, is ideal for watching the sunset, fishing, or just daydreaming. Naples is the golf capital of the world. Lely Resort and Country Club is on the East Trail on the way to Miami. Its famous Freedom Horses lead the way into a golfing development of estate homes and villas centered around designer golf courses by Trent Jones Sr. and Arnie Palmer. It seems that more and more of these architects are designing the golf courses to sort of fit the environment. For example, leave the lake, turn it into a hazard, or keep that beautiful stand of trees and make it into a challenging dogleg to the right. And like Kensington, Pelican Bay, Windstar, and other golfing communities, it's a matter of respecting and showcasing our natural beauty. I think a very good case in point is the Procacci family's vineyards, acreage at one time exclusively in tomato production. Well, Michael Procacci, through courage and millions of dollars, has created a thriving community in a beautiful setting of estate homes, villas, and condominiums. Social life centers on the crown jewel, the clubhouse. Let's go in. The ambience is elegant. State-of-the-art health club. Food, service, and amenities perfect. 60,000 square feet in a luxurious setting geared towards 2 championship golf courses and 12 tennis courts. Vineyards has been named the best master plan community in Naples. However, with more and more developments like this, tomato acreage is dwindling in Collier County. There are about 12,000 acres in tomatoes compared to 238,000 acres for beef cattle. I find it interesting that citrus production is on the increase in Collier County, 37,000 acres. Our economy is robust, with a median income of $6,000 over the state and national average. Our lifestyle is rapidly changing, especially in North Naples. These fields, which once grew tomatoes, now provide open space for children to play, grow strong and healthy, and enjoy the outdoor sports. Sailing, of course, is another very popular pastime. The YMCA on Pine Ridge is a tremendous asset to Collier County. They have meeting rooms for civic groups, high school graduation night parties in the gym, exercise classes for the senior citizens, water safety for the little ones, all under strict supervision. And practicing dives in the Y pool has helped win statewide honors. However, there's always the free spirit, thankfully. An older, retired population provides Naples with a huge volunteer base for outreach and community bonding. Now let's take a look at some of our unique church architecture and its religious diversity. Let's go shopping. 3rd Street and the avenues in Old Naples is a stroller's paradise. More than 100 delightful shops are inserted like luminous blue, yellow, and white gems in an 8-block area. Tiny buildings, some filigreed with graceful black wrought iron stairs and Juliet balconies. Nooks and crannies with secluded restaurants and hidden antique shops. The whole area is like the frosting on a wedding cake. And it's due to this fairy tale ambience that Naples has had phenomenal growth, especially since World War II. In fact, Money magazine has rated Naples as one of the top 10 best places to live in the nation. Yet, you know, Old Naples is as charming today as it was when this picture was taken decades ago. The trees are a little taller, a little more graceful from bending with the wind. But aren't we all? Concerned civic leaders, guided by renowned planning consultants, are turning Fifth Avenue into a cultural, commercial, and financial center, the throbbing heartbeat of Naples. The Chamber of Commerce Information Center is at the head of Fifth Avenue and US 41. The avenue's ambience is delightful. Waterside Shops in North Naples has a wide selection of truly elegant stores like Jacobson's and Saks Fifth Avenue. There are over 40 shops encircling a magnificent waterscape. Stroll the marble-sculpted corridors beguiled by scents from Crabtree and Evelyn, or visually impacted by the crimsons and reds of Victoria's Secret. Merchants, of course, look forward to the season, when some 75,000 snowbirds come to Naples. But you know, you'll always find your place in the sun. Nearby is Barnes & Noble, 26,000 square feet of reading pleasure. In reality, it's turned into a community center where you can read, schmooze, or play chess over a Starbucks coffee. And speaking of books, the main Collier County Library on Central Avenue combines high-tech service for 130,000 volumes in air-conditioned comfort. A Sunday afternoon ride down Gordon Drive is a very pleasant experience. The waterfront estates are beautiful and quite serene. Can you imagine sitting on your lawn, sipping an iced tea and nibbling a Truffles lemon square, enjoying not only the wonderful sunset, but the lowest property tax in the state, and Florida has no inheritance or personal income tax. Just off Gordon Drive is exclusive Port Royal. Once a mangrove swamp, John Henry Sample formed the area into delicate little fingers of land with million-dollar estates fronted by piers showcasing sleek yachts. Some of the older wooden homes are being razed and replaced by cement castles. One reason the construction business is booming in Naples, up 79% since 1992. And servicing these estates and hotels are commercial nurseries like this. Their business is up 31%. And if you love flowers, a stroll through Naples is like an afternoon in Giverny. Visit Pelican Bay. Hedges bursting with hibiscus like a single red, a Mary Wallace orange, an American Beauty double red. On Creighton Road, a shy night blooming cerise. Plumeria trees scenting the air in moorings. A golden shower tree in Old Naples. Thanks to the Loudermilk family, Royal Poinciana trees with blossoms bursting with pride like new fathers. Our rich soil is our heritage, providing us with a horn of plenty. Huge shopping centers have attached themselves to our new residential developments, especially on US 41 North and Pine Ridge. And usually, like Crossroads, they're anchored by a drugstore and a supermarket, in this case, Walgreens and Publix. Publix is Florida-based and very community-minded. Many Neapolitans still shop at Wynn's Market on Fifth Avenue, not only out of loyalty to a family who has given so much to our community, but their wine selection is superb. It's like a high-tech, family-style grocer where friends meet. And Tim Wynn knows your name. Naples is a very easy-to-reach destination. Take I-75 all the way to exit 16 or fly into our neat airport. We have excellent direct and commuter flights to Miami and Fort Myers International. Speaking of international, our international visitors, especially from the United Kingdom and Germany, seem to favor Naples and Marco Island. Some businesses, like this one on Fifth Avenue, successfully target this specific market. Our hotels are the finest in the world. A favorite is the Naples Beach Hotel and Golf Club, owned and operated by the Watkins family since the 1940s. Its traditional family values make it a fun place for everyone. The Ritz-Carlton Resort opened in 1985. It was the only Florida hotel to receive the 5-star award from Mobile Travel Guide. Condé Nast has the Registry on its gold list. In tennis, the Nuveen Masters, Bill Rasmussen's Intellinet Golf Challenge, Naples Area Chamber of Commerce, Tourism Board, Tourism Development Council, and countless others have done exceptionally well in promoting Naples worldwide. Dining out means just that. Fifth Avenue streetscape glimmers and glows from candlelight dinners at sidewalk restaurants. Naples provides award-winning restaurants for every taste. A thick, juicy prime rib at St. George and the Dragon. A 2.5-pound Maine lobster at Maxwell's on the Bay. A dessert or lunch at Cuisine Management's Truffles, or dinner at Chef's Garden. Whether tasting local dishes by the waterside or sipping a vintage wine at sunset, dining out in Naples is a movable feast. Some of these small boats and yachts reflect the wealth concentrated in Naples. The Federal Reserve Board has commented on the number of banks shrinking nationwide. In Naples, banks are increasing. Over 18 banks and 11 thrift institutions, with over $3 billion in assets, and still growing. Places to visit? Take the bridge to Marco Island. Check in at the Visitor Center. Marco is steeped in history. Marriott's Marco Island Resort, like other magnificent hotels on this island paradise, is second home to many returning guests. It provides a beautiful window into the treasures of the Gulf. Collier County Museum is fascinating and full of local history and archaeology with its adjoining park and Florida garden. The director and his very small staff have done a superb creative job. Another excellent family destination is Caribbean Gardens, one of America's oldest tropical gardens, 52 acres smack in the middle of Naples. Jungle areas feature bird shows, nature trails, cats, and I mean big cats. It's refreshing to know that the world is still a world of adventure and wonder. Visit Coastland Center, our regional mall with its major retail giants and many little shops. The Conservancy Center started in the 60s to Putaki Island. It has now expanded to include our county's ecosystem. Highly trained staff, interns, exceptional volunteers lead the way through land acquisition, research, and legislation. Let's visit a small part of the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. These walking wounded have a home for life. Re-entry birds and animals are kept from human imprint. You know, we all have our favorites, and this eagle is mine. Always seems a little bit arrogant, or maybe rightfully suspicious. The Teddy Bear Museum is a cozy, air-conditioned plush home to over 3,000 bears. George Black is the head bear, and the museum is a tribute to one of the most unique women in Naples, noted philanthropist Frances Pugh Hayes. Her compassion and heart of gold have helped the Naples lifestyle become world-class. A favorite display here is the Teddy Bear Parade. Look for the nervous bear at the end. On the East Trail is the Old Marine Marketplace. It's a collection of restored boathouses, a 1920s clam shelling and oyster processing center. Tin City is now home to 40 unique shops and restaurants. The Smith family-owned Naples Trolley with Randy in charge is sort of a fun way to see over 100 points of major interest. This, of course, is the main depot. And after making its rounds, it's back home, check in with Gail, and off again for a fully narrated tour of our Camelot on the Gulf. It always reminds me of the little engine that could. Well, how does our lifestyle function so smoothly? Let's begin at the Government Center on East Trail at sunset. It governs 2,000 square miles of Collier County. Our downtown main hospital has this 50-bed facility in North Naples. Police and fire departments also have full branches in growing areas like Golden Gate, East Naples, and North Naples. They say the county's population will increase over 60,000 by the year 2000. The City Hall is downtown. We're governed by a mayor and 6 council members with overlapping terms. The city was incorporated in 1925. Our Parks and Recreation Department has won the National Gold Medal for Excellence. Cambier Park is the oldest of the 8 active city parks. It has a special park for the youngsters called Candy King. Fleischmann is the largest park. The vivacious Mary Margaret Grusha, the supervisor of Cambier Park, is headquartered here in Norris Pavilion, named after a wonderful couple, Delora and Lester Norris. Our school system is under the county and is the county's major employer, over 3,000 people. Student population is about 27,000. School construction is always going on. We're proud of the fact that 70% of our high school graduates go on to higher education, and our per pupil expenditures are among the state's highest. Our final story is on the Naples Philharmonic Center for the Arts, the height of classical and elegant entertainment. President and CEO is Myra Janko Daniels. The Phil was founded, built, and underwritten by the community at large, It has one of the world's finest concert halls. A night at the Phil is a golden night to treasure. Come early, stroll through the gardens, enjoy the architecture, visit the superb art galleries. Greeting friends and entering that magic world as the house lights dim, transport us into our own Camelot on the Gulf. Well, the evening's over. Our sun is set. And we've enjoyed our paradise for yet another day. If you're looking for a place to belong, to be accepted and loved, welcome home. May I leave you now with an Irish blessing. May US 41 rise to meet you. May the gentle Gulf winds be always at your back. And as you stroll old Naples, may the sun shine warmly upon your face. May the rain fall softly during your stay. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm.